Welcome back. Author Joe Cuhaj navigates the backwaters of Mobile's fascinating history in his new book, Hidden History of Mobile. The book tells long-lost tales of the port city's rich history, from the first Mardi Gras to the day Elvis Presley, yes, the king of rock and roll, was thrown out of Viger High School. Cuhaj joins us right now to tell us more about this book. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And what a time to celebrate Mobile's history with Mardi Gras kicking off and all things going on. But I want to get back to that Elvis story. So what's going on there?
Well, you know, it was in the late 50s, and you would think at that time he was, you know, pretty much the king of rock and roll. He was really getting in there. But actually, he was playing high school still. He was being booked at high schools all across the country. And he played up in Ohio before he came to Mobile in 1959. And a local radio producer invited him to go to Viger High School. And he went there. The teachers were not real happy. He told one joke, and the concert only lasted 30 minutes. He told one joke after all of his gyrations, and they said, "That's it, show's over." Kicked him out of the Viger High School.
A joke combined with those hip gyrations in the 1950s, that's not going to work. So he was kicked out. So tell me, what motivated you to look into some of these stories and explore the history of Mobile?
Well, yeah, I've always loved history. You know, I'm not a historian. I'm just one of those people who like to find out a little bit more about just, you know, odds and ends things. Just unique history.
And that's kind of what you point out in the book, is some of these cool stories that you may not have heard before. For example, tell me about gumbo.
Right. Probably everybody heard about the Pelican Girls. When the settlement of Mobile was first established, they had no women here. So the King of France got some women from France to sail across here. They were promised they were coming into a land of a Garden of Eden. And when they got here, they found squalor and mosquitoes and backwater swamps. And when they met with Bienville, his housekeeper, decided to make them a fish stew. And this is like 1704. And the women tasted it, and they said, well, need something else. And when they made a stop on the way to Mobile through the Caribbean, they picked up okra. And when they put the okra in there, that's recognized as the first gumbo ever made.
Wow, so gumbo started right here in the port city. Time for one more quick anecdote before we go. The Marx Brothers.
Oh, yes. It's like a scene out of a Marx Brothers movie. They were coming from Gadsden, Alabama, and Harpo had a really beat-up harp at the time. They weren't that popular yet. You know, they were just getting ready to get into the movies. And they were coming from Gadsden, and the train they were on derailed. And there was a lot of injuries. The Marx Brothers were trying to help injured people. Wow. And an insurance adjuster came in and was giving people like 50 cents if you had a bruise, $1 if you had a cut. And Harpo heard this and thought, well, I can get a new harp out of this. So he goes into the back, and the passenger car is derailed. Everything's destroyed except his harp. This old beat-up harp is still in one piece. So he opens the side of the door, takes the harp, and slams it onto the tracks and breaks it into a million pieces. And the insurance adjuster comes up and says, well, I'll give you $15 for it. And he said, well, that cost me $45. And he said, well, you're a good-looking guy. I'll give you $25 for it. And Harpo's Aunt Mimi, who was their manager, wouldn't have it. And they came to Mobile, got a lawyer, got $200, and ended up buying his brand new harp, the first one he ever really had.
How about that? So here is the book right here, The Hidden History of Mobile. And I wanted to mention, because I mentioned something at the end of our last show here, that you also have this book about baseball in Mobile, and today is Hank Aaron's 86th birthday.
That's right.
So how cool is that? So for the folks watching at home, they want to learn more either about baseball's history in Mobile or the hidden history of Mobile. Where can they find your books and more about you and all that kind of stuff?
Any bookstore, Page and Pallet in Fairhope, the Haunted Bookshop downtown, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore or online.
All right, sounds great. Some fascinating stories in both these books. You don't want to miss it. Joe, thank you so much for coming in.